Good afternoon. My name is Mike Thompson. Thank you all for coming. I'd also like to thank the Stern Speaks Committee for this opportunity. I'd like to thank Ankur and Jen for a great speech last month, and I'd like to thank JV for a great speech just now. And also a special thank you to Lily and Tan for helping to coach me through this process. Now I want to make a disclosure up front that Stern Speaks was organized to provide a forum through which we can learn about our classmates on a deeper level and learn and be inspired by their stories, by their challenges, by their perspectives. So, I won't be up here telling funny stories or puns or jokes tonight. It's not really the forum for this. This is Stern Speaks, so I want to preserve the integrity of that series. Sorry if you showed up for something wrong. Anyway, what I want to talk today about is very similar sort of to JB's point, which is about our two sides of our personalities that have been sort of at odds with each other throughout my entire life. The first half is my professional side, the side you see before you now, the side who studied business in undergrad, who was a consultant at Deloitte, and who's getting his MBA here at Stern. The second half was my theater half. The half that studied theater in undergrad, the half that did improv and sketch comedy for years and years. And while the theater side was very important for my upbringing, I realized at a point that I needed to start focusing on my career and my professional development, so I had to essentially kill off that theater side, which, it is what it is, but, it's made my professional self all the more better and all the more complete. So we'll go back to the beginning.
Wait.
Ah, shit, it's my theater self.
You didn't think that you could actually keep me hidden away from Stern Speaks, did you?
Well, yeah, theater self, I actually did. This is a really important event, and I don't want you to come here and make a fool of us in front of all of these people.
Oh, make a fool of us. Really? Do you think that after Follies, the Oppie, and all the terrible jokes that we made constantly, that we even have a shred of dignity left at this school?
Well, no, but I'm just...
Yeah, so who cares? Look, you need to stop telling people that I'm dead because you clearly need me here to liven it up a little bit. I mean, look how bored Sean McClane looks.
Sean McClane's not even here. All right, you can stay, but I'm in charge here, all right?
If you say so. Toodles!
Oh, my God. Oh, no. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought. Sorry about that. Okay, so going back to the beginning. I grew up in a small town outside of San Francisco called Castro Valley. I had the privilege of not only being raised by my mom and by my dad, but also both sets of my grandparents were in the same zip code, so they actually raised me while my parents were working. This is my Oma and Opa on my mom's side, and this is my grandparents on my dad's side. And despite not having college degrees themselves, my grandparents were very invested in my education. And they taught me things like math and spelling and reading at a very young age, to the point where I was actually reading full books by the time I was 3 years old. Clearly, my professional self was well under development.
And oh, so ironic that you learn how to read by the age of 3, but still haven't managed to read a single case in LIO this semester. Hey, you forgot to mention that your theater side was being developed at the time, too.
Yeah.
Oh, but you want me to tell?
No!
Don't mind if I do! Castro Valley was a great place to grow up, and was also the home of celebrities like Rachel Maddow, Jack Del Rio, and the hooker from Borat. Our grandparents did teach us to read at a young age, but they also nurtured my performance side, encouraging me to sing around the house, shocker, and they also bought us that magic set.
A good magic set would be you disappearing.
Oh, clever. We practiced that magic set for hours, and one night we put on a show at our grandparents' house for all the kids in the neighborhood.
I remember that. We charged everyone 25 cents for admission, including our grandparents. What a great business idea that was.
Yeah, that was definitely your idea to charge our poor grandparents admission to the show at their own house. But without my performance, you wouldn't have even had a show. Maybe our seemingly different selves aren't that different at all.
Moving on. So to say that my elementary school through high school years were awkward would be an understatement. I was always pretty good at academics, but I had some trouble making friends. So to combat this, my parents put me into a lot of structured activities, such as piano, and golf, and taekwondo. And still, even early on in high school, I only had 1 or 2 really good friends, and I enjoyed a daily ritual of getting the shit kicked out of me in the locker room. That's right, even looking like that doesn't deter bullying. It actually wasn't until junior year of high school when my professional self really started to take shape. I joined a club called DECA, which taught business fundamentals and allowed us to participate in local, state, and international case competitions. This is me at internationals in Nashville, Tennessee. And DECA really helped me build a wider social circle, career ambitions, and confidence. And my favorite part was learning how to quantify an addressable target market, learn how to analyze the economic impact of a fluid and dynamic competitive.
My favorite part was learning how to quantify an addressable target market, target the addressable quantify, economics, quantity, target market.
Would you please stop interrupting?
Could you please stop being such a tool? If I were a different person, I would have kicked the shit out of you in high school.
But you're so scrawny.
Anyway, let me try to get you guys through the bullshit that Professional Mike just tried to drop on you. At the time, I was involved in an improv comedy group, and I was being cast in plays and musicals, such as Arsenic and Old Lace, and Seussical the Musical, where I was, by the way, cast as Horton the Elephant in a clear typecasting move. And while DECA did show me that I wanted to pursue a career in business, at the time, it was merely an avenue for performance. Look, I could have learned business through reading a book, through taking a class, through getting a part-time job, through increasing my clout score by posting more on MySpace and Zanga, but I chose to do so through a case competition club where I would perform... Same thing, where I would present to a group of business people and differentiate my solution based on charisma and creativity that I couldn't have fostered without my involvement in the arts and all that jazz. I wanna lose my name.
Oh my god, I just want to strangle you! Alright, stop! We're moving on.
You're right, they have to go to beer class. Speaking of beer, college?
College. For undergrad, I applied to NYU Stern, was admitted, visited in April, realized it was too damn cold here in April, and went to the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. I decided to major in business and minor in theater, which was a difficult decision, but I was really close to actually majoring in theater, but I'm actually glad that I didn't. Reasons being, it wasn't too stable of a career choice, and I realized I really didn't have the patience for the craft of theater. The people who would go into the desert to find their character, who would come up to me and tell me that for the next 3 weeks they were going to be their character instead of themselves, so they're going to start acting weird. I didn't have the patience for that, and I just liked kind of pure performance and more of the informal side. So I spent a lot of time with Cometus Interruptus, which was our improv and sketch comedy troupe on campus, where I got to perform with some really talented people like Beck and Kyle, who were living out their dreams on SNL and random AT&T commercials at this point. The school also provided me a lot of professional experiences as well. I got to team with a team of 7 as part of a class project where the rubric we got for the class project was observe and practice leadership, and that was it. And then we decided to make a co-ed professional leadership development fraternity called Delta Omicron Zeta, or DOZ, which was a great experience. It still exists now. There's over 300 members, and we're opening our new chapter at LMU in the fall. So that was really rewarding. And of course I was doing things like interviewing and recruiting, which leveraged a lot of the theater skills and improv skills that I developed at school.
I rest my case. You wouldn't have gotten to where you are today if it weren't for me.
Okay, stop. I'm trying to perform here.
Oh. Or in the words of the great Rob Solomon, ah. This is all finally getting through to you. You were in an improv comedy group, but you were able to contribute not just as a performer, but also be business manager. You were your undergraduate business commencement speaker, but only got selected because there was an audition process.
Yeah, okay, maybe that was true in college, but ever since we sold our soul to Deloitte, we haven't done any theater. At all.
Yeah, and you didn't get paid very much for that soul either, huh?
Yeah, I know. What's your point?
My point is, just because we stopped doing stage performance, that doesn't mean that you killed me off. I'm kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? And earlier in life, I was more present, I was more visible, but then Deloitte Vader came and cut me down maliciously with his draconian utilization metrics, but I still remained a featured character. Just instead of being there in person, I was that little voice in the back of your head saying, search your feelings, and that it would be okay to make semi-inappropriate jokes on conference calls with important people.
Oh, like that time I wished my entire team a happy 4th of July, except my senior manager who was British.
Yes, exactly.
Alright. Well, I assume you had something to do with getting me into Stern as well?
Well, I mean, you definitely get credit for essays 1 and 2, but I think the credit for essay 3 lies with me. Have they heard?
No, you don't need to.
Wait. I don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. I don't want the other programs, which are not in NYC. I'm sure I would like to enroll more than you could ever know. Make my wish come true. All I want for Christmas is NYU.
Alright. Yeah, I remember mailing in that CD and thinking I was either going to be admitted immediately or straight up blacklisted. Thanks, Theater Self. I guess you have been helpful, and I'm glad you're not dead, actually.
Me too. Should we bring this home together?
Let's do it.
So if you remember one thing about me from this presentation...
It should be that picture of me in my Taekwondo outfit.
But if you remember 2 things about me from this presentation...
It should be that I was only able to accomplish what I did professionally by embracing my personal self. My theater self has made me better at presentation.
Thank you.
Creative thinking.
Thank you.
And frankly, bullshitting.
Big thank you. And obviously all 3 of those are critical in the business world.
When I was in 2nd grade doing my first play, I wasn't really thinking about my career. But as I was doing soul searching to prepare for this talk, it's become clear that my theater self has actually been a tremendous asset to my professional development.